In this topic, we discuss the demonstration and explanation of different methods of how to fix a position. So, a position line or LOP, it is a line that is plotted on the chart on which the boat position lies. It might also be a circle, so it could be called a position circle, and it is used to confirm your position. And for us to get our fixed position, we need to intersect 2 to 3 lines to confirm a fix. So, for example, I create a diagram here in PicArt where you can see the shorelines and the fixed object or the lighthouse and the tree. So, there are 3 types of fixing method. The first one is the bearing to bearing, and the second one is the range to range, and the last one is the bearing and range. So, there will be a scenario which our officers were asked us to find a fixed position on the time of 0800. So, as a cadet, we're gonna use the first method, which is the bearing to bearing. And the bearing to bearing, for us to get the bearing of our fixed objects, we're going to use a gyro compass and the azimuth circle, where we need to masipat yung mga fixed object. So, may nakita tayo na fixed object on the upper part of the shoreline. So, this one. And we find it on 0-40 degrees. So, we're using our triangle. So, we find it on here. Sorry. 0-40 degrees. We place the line, and then we can still find the fixed position of our vessel. We just assume the line tansya na nandiyan yung vessel natin sa part na yan. So, we set another fixed object for us to intersect a line. So, may nakita tayo sa baba, and there's another lighthouse. We find it on 120 degrees on our compass rose. So, we use our triangle again, and then we put it in here, 0-120 degrees. And then, nakita na tayo nag-intersect na line by using 2 lines. So, on 0800, we find our fixed position right here. So, that's how we can find our fixed position by using bearing to bearing. So, on our second scenario, one of our officers asked again for us to get our fixed position on 0830. So, we're going to get another fixed position on every 30 minutes interval. So, on our next method, we're going to use the range to range. So, for us to get the range of a fixed object, we're going to use a compass divider. So, before that, we're going to go to our radar, and then we click the fixed object, and after we click that object, we're going to get the distance of that object to our vessel, sorry. Then after that, after we get the distance, and we find the first range of our fixed object is around 5 nautical mile here. Then we use our compass divider and measure it to 5. Then after we measure 5, we use the compass divider to find the distance of that object from our vessel. So it lies here. So for us to get the fixed position, we need another sightings to get our fixed position. And then we find another fixed object here, and we use again our radar and then click the object, and then we can find the distance from our vessel. So we use our compass divider, and then it is 6 nautical miles away from our vessel. So we use the compass divider, and then we find it around here. So this will be our fixed object on 0830. So after we sight our second fixed position on 0830, our officers ask us again for us to get the fixed position on 0900. So our next method is the bearing and range. So remember, the first method is the bearing to bearing, which we use the ruler or the triangle for us to get the bearing fixed position. And our third method, or the last method, is we use the range and bearing. So first, we're going to find a fixed object using our azimuth circle. Then nasipat natin yung isang fixed object dito around 180 degrees. So here, 180 degrees. Our vessel to this fixed object. So it is 180 degrees. For us, 180 degrees, and then we need to get its range to our vessel. So we're going to use the radar and then click the object for us to get the nautical miles per vessel. And then we use the compass divider and we go to map, and then we count another measurement, and it is 4 nautical miles away from our vessel. Then it intersects here. So our last method is bearing to range. On 0900, we find our fixed position around. Demonstration and explanation of different method on how to fix a position. So recap lang. And for us to get the bearing to bearing position, we used our ruler or the triangle. We used the compass rose for us to get the fixed position of our vessel. And on the second method, the range to range, we use the compass divider and other and radar or any other equipment we can use for us to find the distance of the fixed object. And the the last method is that we only use a one object or one fixed object for us to get the range and bearing by using the compass rose and radar. And that's the demonstration and explanation of different methods on how to fix a position.